GuMiho, the mad scientist. Yes, yes. What's mad about GuMiho is that sometimes it works and he looks like a genius. Sometimes it falls on its face and he doesn't look amazing. The trial and error of being a mad scientist. 100%. And here we go. We're getting into our next series, getting into our decider match, and spawning in the right hand corner of ley lines. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Seoul Esports. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg. He just cheesed the hell out of Maru. It is Reynor. Here we go. As our players are preparing, are gearing up, and I was gonna say my eyes are mainly gonna be on GuMiho. I mean, that can't be the case because Reynor, he had one standard game against Maru. Remember, speaking of, gasless, hatch pool opener out of Reynor, delayed gases at least. Now, if you recall, we saw something similar on ley lines against Maru, where Reynor went pool first. If you remember, he went pool first. This time it's hatch first into a later pool and delayed gases. This does look like a gasless build. This I'm not too fond of on ley lines. We'll get into it, but first things first. Reynor, he had one standard game against Maru. That was game 1. That was when he went Lingbane Muta. But game 2 and game 3, Reynor, he went for some crazy builds, going for an early Roach Rush. He went for, I mean, last game we saw the Ling Queen drop load all in. We saw the Italian Vespa come out of the garage. Oh. And here we're going gasless. So Reynor, he's mixing it up quite a bit. Now, the thing about a gasless build like this is that it can be abused, which is why it is often reserved for safer maps. In the last map pool, we saw this quite a lot. We saw this on not Eternal Empire. I mean, we would have. We saw this on Abyssal Reef. We saw this on Neon Violet Square. We saw this on King's Cove. There were a lot of maps in the previous map pool that favored this kind of style. Now, what the style is gasless. No link speed, only queens and slow links. This is very greedy. It's a very greedy style that can be punished, and it is safer to do so on these larger maps, these more defensive maps. Ley lines is not one of them. So it's a bold move. It's a bold build here by Reynor. If he can get away with it, he will take a lead, he will get ahead. But we'll see if he can get away with it. Basically, what you have to rely upon here is SimCity. You need to create a wall here at the natural. You need your queens to be in position, and you need to make sure that your queens keep up with the Hellion rotations. Otherwise, your mineral line is going to get roasted. There is no saving your drones if Hellions get in. Ooh, 1-1-1. I'm scared for Reynor. Now, Clem is really good at punishing this. If you watched EWC last year, Clem versus Serral, he went for the gasless opener, I want to say like 3 times against Clem, and every single time Clem, he roasted up Serral's mineral lines, and he ended the game real fast and real quick. With 1-1-1s. Late third CC, 1-1-1 out of GuMiho. GuMiho, this is designed to shut this down. Here we go, we have a bunker across the map, and how can Reynor defend against this with slow lings and with a handful of queens? Bunkers on the way, hatchery is under fire. Roach Warren is getting there, it's halfway done. And again, this is going to be a tough hold for Reynor. So far, it's going to be zoned back. GuMiho just looking to camp the third base. Queens, they do have 1 transfuse. Or they're about to. About to have a transfuse. More Hellions are rallying. Banshee's behind this as well. Remember, late third base out of GuMiho. Hyper aggressive. As the hatchery is less than half HP. Oh my god. Queen almost falls. Hellions, they try to get past. Nice wall there from Reynor. Last second wall. Does finish the spore. Meanwhile, Queen goes down. Massive pickoff. Takes down a Queen. Roaches are finally popping out. Hellions, they check the wall once again. Full wall up. But the first Roach does fall. And I believe GuMiho will break this expansion. There we go. The third base goes down. Massive pickoff. Takes down the third. Takes down another Queen. Roaches, they try to collapse in. The repairs from the SCV though. Another Roach goes down. And eventually Reynor, he will break this. Eventually he will clean this up, but this is worth it for GuMiho. So far at least. As GuMiho is being cleaned up. And back at home, the third CC is almost done. Wow, this is a crazy dynamic that we never see here in ZvT, and that is the fact that the Terran player is ahead in the base count. Like, usually the Zerg player is up the base even, but here the third base is almost done. The third base just began for Reynor. So economically, Reynor's behind. And remember, because of the gasless opener, the lair is late. The lair is not done. There's no overlord speed. Sorry, there's no roach speed, which means there's no counterattack. Like, Reynor is stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He's stuck defending. He's stuck on 2 bases. And he's still struggling to defend. He has to respond here to the Banshee. Banshee's poking in. There's no cloak. Behind this, GuMiho getting into bio. And this is the price you pay. Like, as we mentioned before, the build that Reynor went for is just really greedy. It's just a really greedy build. And if GuMiho had gone for a standard build, a standard setup, then Reynor would have gotten away with it. But GuMiho went for a 1-1-1. He was hyper aggressive instead. And he did punish Reynor. So the punish was real. Behind this overlord speed, it looks like an all-in out of Reynor, which would make the most sense. Typically, you'll not research overlord speed unless you're going for a drop lord play, so we might just see another like roach queen all-in out of Reynor. Because he's taking so much damage, that would make the most sense. And if GuMiho's too greedy, Reynor can break him. And yep, there we go. As we mentioned, as soon as you see overlord speed, bam, drop lords. So we're going for the all-in. Here we go. Reynor cutting workers at 56. That is going to be under 3 base saturation, 2.5 base basically. So 2.5 base all-in out of Reynor. Back at home, GuMiho, he has his Banshees, tank production underway. Stim will finish in the middle of the fight. He has a safety bunker. And he notices, yeah, he knows. Yeah, he sees overlord speed should not be done at this point. That's a massive sign, a massive tell. GuMiho, he races back home. Now he has full confirmation. Oh, the drop lord taking a lot of damage, a lot of hits. Uh-oh. The drop lord, it's gonna go down. Oh my god. 1 shot away. Overseer's morphing in. And yeah, the drop lord falls. Now, thankfully, the queens are already here. The queens have already arrived. Tank volley is going to be going off. The first bunker is going to go down. But there's 2 tanks behind this. Creep is spreading. Reynor, he needs more damage. Once again, another tank shot. Instead, going for the Drop Lord. And Drop Lord barely does unload in time, but the queens are falling. No creep, no transfuse. Banshees, they overwhelm the queens. There's 1 queen left. Ooh, and the queen goes down. And with that, GuMiho holds. Yeah, GuMiho, he does hold on. There's no anti-air. The Banshees on their own will shut this down. And Reynor, he's in a rough position. Now, thankfully, he was droning up behind this, but army-wise, he just doesn't scale well here into the mid-game. GuMiho is working on 2-2, is building up his bio tank. More roaches going down for free. Reynor is trying to keep up, trying to hold on. GuMiho, he does not give him time to breathe. He just moves out. He unsieges, mass unsiege, mass move out. Changelings are spotted. Reynor, he has a handful. He has 1 Ravager currently. He's about at 5. He needs those Ravagers. But even then, so far behind in those upgrades. Likewise, we have 5 tanks. Oh my god. Now, the first 3 do stack. But alas, the tank blows are brutal, and GuMiho, he does it. He does it. He breaks on through. Breaks through the roaches, gets some of the Ravagers as well. There's 2 Ravagers left. And there's just not much remaining here for Reynor. He's down to 1 roach, down to 2 Ravagers. The 4th base barely survives. GuMiho, he's running out of Marines. True. Uh-oh. Running out of fire, but here we go. The reinforcements have arrived. And GuMiho, he can just rally in. He can just rally in at this point. As tanks, they just keep pushing forward. And Reynor, he did not get away with his greed, losing out his queens. Oof. Losing out more roaches. And GG gets called. GuMiho takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GuMiho, he does take a lead in the series. Again, a cheeky build out of Reynor, but he got punished for it. He went for a gasless opener, went without link speed, delayed roach production, had to defend with purely queens, and GuMiho was hyper aggressive, going for the 1-1-1, rushed into Hellion Banshee, had a bunker across the map as well. The punish was real, and GuMiho takes a lead. Does take a lead, but we'll see if Reynor can bounce back and force the ace match. Up next, we're going to be loading into Persephone. We'll see if Reynor can recover. Let's go. As I would imagine we're going to be seeing a different build once again from the side of Reynor, a different opener, as he has been very flexible with his openers so far in this tournament in today's broadcast. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Seoul Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents going for a 15 hatch. We do have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. So nothing too cheeky here. Reynor, I believe, just going hatch first. Yeah. Extractor trick into his initial hatchery. Into gas pool. Like, we should not see a gasless opener here on Persephone. Meanwhile, ooh, 2-Rax Reaper out of GuMiho. Okay, so first things first, welcome 1-0 to Persephone. Persephone is a smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground, more aggressive than ley lines, which is why we should not see gasless here. That would be crazy on Persephone. There we go. Gas is on the way, so standard build here by Reynor makes more sense. Meanwhile, because you can be aggressive on this map, we do have the Rax from GuMiho, but do you see what I see? Only 1 Rax. So this does not look like 2-Rax Reaper. This looks like the build that Maru had gone for previously in game 2, Rax into CC into Factory with a full wall at the natural. Okay, this is the special opener, the special build. Special as in the player, not the fact that it's special. I like this. It's a Juanito build, Juanito. And so here we go. Going for the CC and walling up. And again, this is designed to keep you safe against a pull first, for example. Thankfully, this time Reynor does not go pull first. From here we're setting up. Likewise, what this means, what this entails, is that there's not going to be an add-on swap because the starport should be on the high ground, not on the low ground, so the production is going to be a little bit easier to scout and going to be easier to piece together, assuming that Reynor sees what's going on, as he has yet to confirm across the map. Yeah, it looks like Reynor, he was hyper fixated on scouting for proxies, so he was very, very much so afraid of any kind of proxy play. Reaper pokes in. There's a reactor for the atom swap into Hellion production. And then again, we should be seeing that starport on the high ground. Which means this shouldn't be Banshee. Third base not being taken. A little bit later here for Reynor, but only by a little bit. Oh my god. Speaking of, I mean, it isn't Banshee. It's going to be a 1-1 Hellbat push here. Armory is on the way behind that mineral line. We're going to be pumping out Hellions. I'm not going to stop with the Hellion production. No boy. Again, you don't often see Hellbat pushes anymore. But GuMiho is going for it. And we'll see if Reynor can piece this together. Again, the Overlord is a little bit further back. Reynor doesn't actually see much of anything at the natural. I mean, as we said before, Reynor, he was scouting for proxies. He was not really scouting across the map. And because there's no tech lab for this starport, this could just be medevac support. That would make the most sense. as Hellions are amassing. Reynor, he attempts to scout. He does see the wall. Everything so far looks standard, looks normal. Hellbats, they already morph in. This is so fast. But because of that, there's barely any Hellbats. There's only 4. I'll be honest, I don't know what this is meant to achieve. 1 Hellbat goes down. And we're now to 5? I guess. Yeah, Reynor is fine. So GuMiho, he reveals the Hellbats, he pulls away. Reynor, he defends with his queens. And again, this isn't like an excessive queen count. No, this is pretty standard. Behind this, Reynor going into a Roach Warren. Very safe response out of Reynor. Getting into Roaches, not Ling Bane. Third TC's on the way. GuMiho, he's not going all in. He's building up. But again, this is just a really peculiar setup here from GuMiho. I mean, I guess if Reynor went gasless, this is a harder punish. I guess. Okay. Now this makes a little bit more sense. What do we see? Now, thankfully, we get a scout. The Overlord does see everything. Factories are on the way. We didn't mention at the start of the series, GuMiho, he is one of the few players out there that will play mech at the highest level of play. And there it is. We have mech on the way. We have 2 more factories, and we have, of course, +1 armor with the armory. So now this early armory makes sense because we have very fast upgrades here for GuMiho. The initial Hellbats didn't do anything, but they're just here for map control. They're not meant to do much. So GuMiho is making it up. Now I say one of the only, and I would say by that saying that he's like one of the only consistent players to play mech. But true, Bjorn did also play mech in his GSL matches. He also meched it up. Oh, on Persephone, we have the healing pad. Oh god. Oh, that is brutal. Specifically for mech, because like the downside of battle mech is that over time your Hellion Cyclone, they do like their HP, their health is obviously limited, and you can whittle away at that army over time. But the healing pad just does change things. It does benefit mech quite a bit more. Like, just because with a bio army you already have medivacs. Like when you play bio, you already have medivacs to support your army anyway. But for mech, like repairs, they only really occur when the army races back home. Like, this gives GuMiho so much more sustain, like so much more pressure here with this army. He pulls away. Yeah, he's gonna repair. He's gonna heal up. Ay, ay, ay. Now he still needs Cyclones against these Roaches. So once again, he just rotates. He backs up. He rotates. There we go. Tops up once again. Ay, ay, ay. But what I will say, like, Reynor, he's safe until the Cyclones arrive. So Reynor, he's safe. He's getting a 4th expansion, getting into Infestation Pit, into Roach Ravager. Let's pull away. Intercepts Ling run by. At the same time, GuMiho, he now does scout the 4th. He is aware. GuMiho keeping up with the rotations. Does keep up. Once again, pokes in. We do have Let's Go Swarm Hosts on the way. Now, Swarm Hosts are very good against a more traditional form of mech, against like a more tank heavy composition. Here we're committing into battle mech, so Swarm Hosts are a little bit less effective. Basically, Swarm Hosts, they're ideal if your opponent has a slower army, because then it's more difficult to actually keep up, catch up, and deny the Swarm Hosts and rotate with them. With something more mobile, then it's more difficult to get away with the Swarm Hosts. But we'll see. As the Lock-ons, okay, they do punish. I mean, finally we have some Cyclones. Lock-ons do punish. GuMiho pulling away. He scans, but he does not scout these Swarm Hosts yet. But oh no, he finds them. Oh, he does find them, does come across them. Okay, forces out the Locust Wave. Meanwhile, Roaches, they intercept one Cyclone, but this is a much better setup here for GuMiho. Again, the Locust Wave gets wasted. And the first Locust Wave does nothing. He gets one SCV. 1, 2, 3. 3 SCVs go down. That is not worth it. Not yet. We have an overseer towards the left-hand side. We have another overseer on the right. We have some more setup for more Nidus Worms. So we go Nidus into the main. And GuMiho, how does he respond? How does he react? Keeps on pushing forward. Yeah, the Nidus is going to be denied. The Nidus on the right. GuMiho pushing in, denying creep. You can see here he's still committed. He's still committed to Mass Cyclone. And Reynor playing around with the idea of going to Spire play. Okay, into Spire. As once again, Swarmhurst, they are spotted. You know, Roach Army coming in towards left-hand side, going for the mineral line. GuMiho out of position. SCVs are going down, getting 4. 4 SCV kills. Reynor pulls away. GuMiho does find the Nidus. He finds both. Both Nidus Swarms go down. As the main army rotates. Keeping up with all the Niduses. Meanwhile, both armies are maxed out. I'm afraid to look. How many Cyclones do we have? 24. 24 Cyclones, 14 Hellions. That's a massive Cyclone army. Bailey's going to be rolling in, but there's no Infestors. There's no Fungal. Nice splits here from GuMiho. The splits on the Cyclones. We need that Locust Wave. Locust Wave is going to buy time. Forces back the army, but there's going to be a period here where Reynor's going to be vulnerable. Without those Locusts, he is vulnerable, and now here comes the army. GuMiho is breaking through. He can always top up with that healing pad. As more Lings are punished, more Queen's going to be going down. Again, Reynor, he just needs more time for that Locust Wave. Needs a couple of seconds. And GuMiho backs up. He backs off, he rotates. Clearing up more creep. He's got that Raven. Doesn't need scans. Splits up his army. Does split up. Nice attempt to surround. Oh, Hellions, they collapse on top of the Cyclones. Not bad. Yeah, a lot of Cyclones do fall. Decent fight there. Decent engage from Reynor. But there's still so many more Cyclones behind this. Clearing up even more creep. You can see he's stretching for the army. He doesn't really get surrounded. Pulls away. Nidus Swarms are getting up and running. Okay. Reynor is still in this. He's still got those Nidus Worms. GuMiho forcing him back. Where do we spend that Locust Wave? How many Swarmhosts? 10. 10 Swarmhosts. GuMiho is just topping himself up at the healing pad. Catching up the Queens. Oh, good. And bleeding out 1, 2, 3 Queens go down. Bailings, they crash into the Hellbats at least. But GuMiho is looking to overwhelm. And Reynor, he can't deal with this. Like, no without Infestors, no without Fungals. With pure Lingbane Roach Ravager, he just cannot brute force it. Not like this. Yeah, GuMiho, he's doing it. He's breaking on through. We have a couple of Bailings morphing in. Just hold on. They do crash into the Cyclones. Not bad. They get some soul connections. But GuMiho, he can still keep pushing. Yeah, he can still just keep pushing. He keeps breaking through, takes down all the workers. 8 drones go down. And Reynor is hurting. Still has the Nidus Swarms up and running. Is still doing whatever he can with their Swarm Host. As Reynor is supply blocked. Where's the Banshees? Free damage. They pop off. GuMiho heads back. Local save gets 4 SCVs, not good enough. Got some corruptors. Okay. We're moving in some broodlords even. I mean, broodlords, they will help. They will be able to slow things down and try to allow Reynor to stabilize. Likewise, Nidus runes are finally being found out. GuMiho tops up his army. Once again, making use of that healing pad. He scans. With the scans, I believe he does get eyes. Yep, he sees the broodlord. He knows. He's aware that broodlords are coming. And from here, Fusion Core. Oh boy. Getting ready for BCs. We already have tech labs on the starport, so mass BC is on the way as a follow-up. We're going for the battle cruisers. Plus 2 ship weapons already on the way as well. GuMiho is ready for the BCs. There it is. Yamato's being researched. First BCs in production. Finally, we have some infestors going into Broodlord Infestor, but this is so late for Reynor. It's so delayed. Oof. Catching out Infestor. Where's the anti? Oh no, he snipes the other Infestor. The snipes. The Banshees. 0 Infestors left. No more Infestors. Now going for the Ravagers. Going for the Queens. Oof. Gets another. From here, he has Hyperflight Rotors. He can just pull away. Oh my god, forcing a cancel. Does pull away. GuMiho barely does not spot the Nidus. And she's pulled out. But Reynor, he unfortunately, like, he wasn't ready for the Cyclone, or he wasn't, he just didn't really have the setup for the Cyclones. He's also not ready for the BCs. Not ready for them. He doesn't have the upgrades. There we go. BCs are revealed. Now we need Mass Corruptor Infestor. Neural is on the way. Neural will help. And 1 starport goes down. Not bad. Takes down a starport. The battle mech is still a problem. Still 0 Infestors. Now there are 6 on the way. They will each have at least one fungal. Was it Storm? But they each have at least one. Banshees, they do trade and they do take down a base. Thinking about by coming in, not bad. SCV's finally going to be going down. Finally, some counter damage. Reynor getting some damage done across the map. For the first time in a long time. Gets 18 SCVs. But GuMiho is now super maxed. He's super maxed out. He's got 3 battle cruisers. There we go. Teleporting on top of the army. He wants those infestors. The bungles though. Oh, the vials. Vials to connect. Yamato's two of those infestors. Now moving in. Going for another Yamato. Fungal the army. Oh, does Graves. Takes out 1 Cyclone. That was just one. Just 1 Cyclone goes down. Yeah, and it looks like GuMiho, he has done it. He's overrunning Reynor. He's overwhelming. Reynor, he was just stuck on Lingbane or Ravager for so long, it wasn't worth it. On top of that, the reality is Swarmhosts, they weren't worth it either. They weren't worth it. We spoke about how Swarmhosts are ideal against a slower form of mech, but against Battle Mech, you see how difficult it was for the Nidus rooms to stay up, for the Swarmhosts to actually get any value. The Cyclones, they just pulled Reynor apart. And the Swarmhosts, they never really paid for themselves. Never did pay for themselves. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the top 4 and eliminating Reynor from GSL. GG. GG, well played. GuMiho will claim it. Again, even flexing mech towards the end, but mech specifically on Persephone feels a lot stronger thanks to the healing pad. Time and time again, GuMiho, he was making full use of that healing pad to maintain his battle mech, to sustain that kind of army, and to just never really allow Reynor to breathe. And unfortunately, Reynor, he did decide to go into Swarm Host, as we were emphasizing at the time. Swarm Host play can be effective, but specifically against battle mech, it's difficult. It's difficult to really make pay for itself, just because the army that you're up against is so mobile. And we saw that Reynor, it wasn't really worth it. The Swarm Hosts, they did not pay for themselves. They hurt him more than anything. It was because he was investing into those Swarm Hosts, they didn't have any resources to make any infestors, so he was stuck on Ling Bane Roach Ravager for a long time, and he was trading so poorly, so inefficiently. He was not able to really collapse on those Cyclones. And in the end, GuMiho did just outtrade him. He outtraded him, he did overwhelm him. GG, well played. GuMiho does make it through into the upper echelons of GSL. And shout out to Reynor for competing here tonight, for taking down Maru. True, was impressive to bring down Maru. Did cheese the hell out of him, but also had a really solid game one. Had a really fun later game back and forth. Ling Bane Muto was a treat to see from Reynor in his first game against Maru. And with that wraps up Group B. That wraps up our morning broadcast. Here we go, switching our scenes over. We had a Classic. It all began with Classic going up against Reynor and going up against GuMiho. Classic was the first player to make it through into the top 4 out of Group B. Likewise, we were able to feature Maru's Protoss. Now, I should also emphasize that Maru, he did play Terran against Reynor, not Protoss. But the way that we have our spreadsheet set up, like it's one or the other. And he played Protoss against GuMiho, he played Terran against Reynor, just as a heads up. Oh. As a reminder. Actually, can I do this? Can I do this and then can I do this without breaking things? No, I break everything. But regardless, GuMiho took down Maru, of course, and then we had GuMiho taking down Reynor towards the end of the broadcast as well. Dominant, strong performances out of GuMiho. Of course, Classic did have his number when it came to their match. Classic, he was able to specifically rely on his scouting. There was a lot of scouting from Classic, able to get a read on what sorry, I think I said Maru too often. Get a read on what GuMiho was up to. Was able to shut down the aggression of GuMiho time and time again. So really impressive play there by Classic, really impressive scouting, more importantly, more than anything. And in the end, we had, of course, Reynor taking down Maru and Reynor falling to GuMiho. So congratulations to Classic and GuMiho for making it through. And that means that we have our top 4 for GSL. Who are those 4 players? Hero, GuMiho, Classic, and Kior. 4 players here for the playoffs, and we're going to be covering those playoffs this evening as we quickly switch our scenes over and catch up on our schedule. Bam! You can see our schedule this week is full of GSL broadcasts. We're here on Thursday. Thursday morning. We just wrapped up with our morning broadcast of GSL. This evening at 7 p.m. KST, that is going to be at 8 p.m. AST. That's going to be in around 6.5 hours. In 6.5 hours, we're going to be live once again with the finals, with the semifinals and the grand finals of GSL Season 1. We're going to be casting Hero versus GuMiho and Classic versus Cure, and the winners of those matches against each other in the best of 7 finals. So it's going to be an intense broadcast later on tonight. And you may be curious, hold up, if you're covering the finals tonight, then why is there more GSL on Friday and on Saturday? Well, those are the qualifiers for Season 2. For those who do not know, the qualifiers for Season 2 of GSL took place a couple of days ago. They took place on over the weekend. Those were when the qualifiers took place. Obviously, just because I'm sure someone's going to ask, they were not casted live by anyone. No one casted them live. No one does cast them live. That hasn't happened in many years. But instead, replays were provided, and we've all been covering the replays. I want to say Enki's already casted the replays. I think Wardy did some GSL casting yesterday. I know that Zombergub did some GSL casting yesterday as well. For those qualifiers, we're going to be doing our GSL qualifier cast tomorrow, after we finish up the Season 1 finals. So yes, that's going to be 3 casts. It's going to be 16 best of 3s. A lot of best of 3s, but 16 best of 3s throughout 3 casts. So it's going to be Friday morning, Friday evening, and Saturday evening as well. And on top of that, we have DreamHack Dallas. 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. But 3 days straight of DreamHack Dallas. We are going to be covering that event as well. We're going to be casting. We're going to be doing our best to co-stream as well. I say that we have yet to have confirmation, but we should be able to cover Dallas on the channel. Of course, shout out to the offline, sorry, I should say the main production team, the talent team. They're going to be covering the event. We're going to be most likely co-streaming the event on our channel here on the CranKy Ducklings. So it's going to be a very intense weekend here of StarCraft with GSL and with DreamHack Dallas. For those who do not know who was going to DreamHack Dallas, everyone is going. All the top players, all the top Koreans, all the top Europeans, everyone is going to be at Dallas. There are very few that are not. So again, if you can name a Korean player, they're all going. SOS is going, Kyor is going, Bunny, Ryung, GuMiho, Classic, Hero, Shin, Solar, Rogue, Maru, Byan, just all of them. The only notable Korean I will say that isn't going is Nightmare. Nightmare is not going, but again, Nightmare, he's been playing a lot of Deadlock. He's been spending a lot of time outside of StarCraft, so Nightmare's the only one that isn't going. Even Homemono and Lunacy are going. I guess like you go down to like Rebellion isn't going, Prome isn't going, Ateshi isn't going, but those are more like amateur, like Korean or semi-pro Korean players. When it comes to the Europeans, Gabe is going to be there, Showtime is going to be there, Skillus, Elaser, Lambo, Serral, Reynor, Clem, like again, like all the top players from Europe, from Korea, all going to be at Dallas. So make sure you're a part of that. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be a blast. It is going to be a blast here. So make sure you tune into whether it's the CranKy Ducklings or another channel that's going to be co-streaming, or the main channel that's going to be streaming it. Do tune in. We will be not just co-streaming the event, but I believe day one we're going to be covering the open bracket of the tournament. There's going to be a lot of matches, so I'm sure they want as much community coverage as they can get. So we're going to be all over that. But again, before DreamHack Dallas, we have all these GSL broadcasts. So there's going to be a lot of GSL coverage over the next couple of days leading into Dallas. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll enjoy the content. And again, our next cast is going to be later on tonight, is going to be in 6.5 hours time. I'm gonna get some breakfast and then I'm gonna go and try to sleep as much as I can to be well rested for the event. So I got you covered for GSL for the finals later on tonight. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. You can also follow us on all the social medias, !socials in the chat, and you can tune in to, of course, our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. We do stream not just here on Twitch, we stream over on YouTube as well. We are live over on YouTube, so we got you covered for that YouTube coverage. VODs are available on YouTube as well. VODs are instantly available on YouTube, so if you see something that you want to see here and if you can't watch it live, then YouTube is the place to be for those VODs. YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. And is there anyone live at the moment? Is there anyone live? Can we give someone a rage? We'll find someone. I think Dave is streaming. I know that Enki's streaming. Might give Enki a raid. El Señor Enki. Otherwise, we're wrapping up. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in 6 hours. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.